What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires, and I gotta tell you guys, I am so excited. Werewolf by Night is awesome. Really awesome. In a way that's sort of hard to explain because of how little we knew going into the project. I really had zero in a way of any expectations, and let me tell you guys, I am so hyped for y'all to see this. Now, don't worry, there won't be any spoilers in this. It's just a reaction, and the review won't actually come out until next week when the embargo lifts. But I can tell you what was said in the official synopsis that came with this pre-screener. We'll talk about some details from the trailer as well. But I have to tell y'all, this is so awesome. It is so refreshing to see something new in the MCU, but at the same time, this feels more Marvel than maybe some of the more obvious Marvel projects that we've seen. I don't know if that makes sense now, but it will when you guys see it in a couple of weeks. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the characters. Listen, there's something special. James Gunn, what he was able to do with Guardians of the Galaxy, characters that even us diehard comics fans may have not known very well, and endear them immediately, and this just does it all. Now, if you saw the trailer, which we didn't have a chance to break down yet at the channel since D23, the official synopsis came along today, and it has some details I think weren't immediately obvious. It reads, quote, "On a dark and somber night, a secret cabal of monster hunters emerge from the shadows and gather at the foreboding Bloodstone Temple, following the death of their leader. In a strange and macabre memorial to the leader's life, the attendees are thrust into a mysterious and deadly competition for a powerful relic. A hunt that will ultimately bring them face to face with a dangerous monster." Inspired by horror films of the 1930s and 40s, the chilling special aims to evoke a sense of dread and the macabre, with plenty of suspense and scares along the way as we explore a new corner of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now look, guys, I know I've read the comments at the channel for the last couple of years, and one of the biggest gripes about Marvel Phase 4 in general is that things aren't maybe as connected as you would have want them, and Marvel admittedly had to play it safe because of the way things went with the pandemic. This thing is awesome, and if it is a foreshadowing of what's to come in the MCU, if they do press forward and explore the monster side of the MCU, I cannot wait. They nailed this. I was able to interview Laura Donelly earlier today, Elsa Bloodstone. I'm not sure when that interview will post over the next couple of days, but it will. And I'm so excited for you guys to see how excited she was about the character and able to name the teams and name dropping the Midnight Suns and understanding where the character is in the comics and the changes that they made for the TV show. And look, as an Ultra fan like you guys, no matter who they cast in these roles, I want those actors to care. I mean, I deeply want those actors to care. I want them to be Iman Vellani. I want them to know more about the comics and the characters than we do. And look, I don't think it's integral to an awesome portrayal. I think as long as they nail the character, it can work. But when you get people like this who are very obviously fans of the MCU and enthused in the work they're doing, and while that's not really a reaction, I would say, per se, to watching it, and I loved it, I was so excited leaving that interview, hoping for a future for Elsa Bloodstone in the MCU, just because of how into it she was, and knowing how much she cares about the character and the project. Now, horror is one of those genres that it can mean a lot of things. It has many, many different faces, pun totally intended. But the thing about the old 1930s and 40s horror films is that they were good. I remember renting them, and I know some of you will as well, or maybe you got into them a little bit later in life, but it's definitely its own genre, and it's pretty simple. There's a formula for a monster movie, and if you follow it, then you hit all the beats, and it's just one of those things where I would have never thought going in a monster movie would make sense, especially how the MCU has explored a lot of different tones, but the tone here in Phase 4. And this just goes away from it and is awesome all on its own. Now, obviously, we saw some of the stuff from the trailer that they put in the synopsis, but for me, that synopsis really brought it all together because what it showed us was how this thing is going to go and where it's going to go. But I, again, had no expectations for what this even meant to see a black and white horror film in the MCU. And trust me when I tell you that I was instantly hooked. It is just so fun and so good. And while some of you, again, are going to know that 30s and 40s monster movie feel, yeah, it's about being scary and it's about having some dread and suspense and some jump scares, but monster movies have their own feel. It is definitely a genre, and this thing kicked its ass. Well done, Marvel. You absolutely murdered this. You know, I'll tell you one other thing it did. Is that the writing in this is so quality, it highlights, well, maybe less than writing in other places. In the MCU and out, I love this. You guys are going to love it. Alright, quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff, but since I'm on camera now, and I say it sometimes at the channel, but when I'm not on camera, so it feels impersonal, I'm so close to 1 million subscribers, guys, I can't believe it. And, you know, listen, it'll come when it comes, but in the meantime, I can still thank you guys now for all the support you've given me over the last 4 or 5 years as a content creator, and I am seriously overwhelmed with gratitude, and I cannot thank you guys enough. Especially when I meet you guys out in the real world and you say hi. It means the world to me to be able to share this with you guys, and we are all going through the MCU and experiencing it together. And look, our opinions aren't always going to be the same, and we're not always going to, you know, see things the same way and agree on what's good and what's bad. It's art. Who could even know that anyway? Okay, some of us could know that anyways. I feel connected to you guys in a way I can't explain, and for some of you who watch this every day and it's your thing, I just can't thank you enough. So for those of you who have already subscribed, you are amazing. For those of you who haven't already, I invite you to come be a part of the community here. You know, and I honestly could just go on forever about it, but just honestly and sincerely thank you to everybody for everything. It's been an amazing ride, and we have lots of years to come. You know, do the sub thing. Hit the like button, whatever, or don't. Nobody's gonna know. This being on video stuff is hard work. You guys don't understand.
And I promise not to care.